Hi, my name is Heather Walters, and today I would like to talk about marriage. I feel like in marriage, it's a good idea to keep everything sort of separate. Um, when I first got married, I was young and I had ideas of sharing everything. Um, I don't know. I just, for some reason, I thought that would work out well, and that I would never, like, get tired of sharing my possessions. Um, but I happen to have a talent of being a problem solver. And so I'm a great problem solver. And I started to notice in my marriage and relationship that it was always like, okay, so everyone has different personality types. My personality type is I'm very particular. I'm particular about certain things. I'm particular about my electronics. I want them to work every time I want to use them. I want them to be kept in tip-top shape. I want expensive electronics that are work really good. I don't want to cut corners to save money and then have less quality. It's just me. If I have a computer that I have to work on every time I want to use my computer, I won't even open it because I know it's going to take me an hour to get it going before I can complete a project or a task. And I like to complete tasks quickly, move on to the next one, especially when it comes to using electronics. My husband is the complete opposite of me. He wants a bargain. He wants a great deal. He wants to save money on his electronics. So if he can get a computer for free that is really slow and you have to work on it to get it to work whenever you need to use it, he's fine with that because he got a thrill out of getting a good bargain. So, of course, his computers or electronics are going to be something that he can rough up a little bit and toss around because he's not going to have very much invested in his things. His things are mostly going to be things that he could pick up at a thrift store or something. That's the kind of stuff he likes to buy. So mine are going to be mine are probably going to come from the Apple store because I like Apple products. Therefore, I need to put mine up and take care of them because I have a lot of money invested. And that can pose a problem when we share everything. Because then after a while, after years of your life of sharing everything, and I have all my stuff is broken because my partner is used to using things that he gets from a thrift store where he can just kind of leave them around or take them with him or throw them around places because he doesn't really have that much invested. Well, people know what it costs to buy Apple products. You have to invest. It's an investment to get something that has really good quality. So when he takes my Apple electronics and he just kind of roughs them up, I have a problem with that. And so when I was trying to solve this problem, I began to realize that, okay, when we live at home, before we get married, we lived separately, and our things belong to us, and we were responsible for taking care of those things. And then whenever we move in together and we're in a marriage, all of a sudden my things are not mine anymore and his things are not his anymore. So he has 20 fishing poles, all with the eyes broken off the ends of them. You know, because I'm like, oh, all these fishing poles keep getting in my way, and I'm like slamming the truck door down on them or stepping on them in the garage whenever I walk by if they're laying in the floor or whatever, because he's not a super organized person. He has other qualities, but organization is not at the top of his priority list. So then I have all these, you know, all my Apple electronics or things that I really like. My things are getting broken too. So then you have two people that used to live separately, and they used to be responsible for taking care of their own possessions, but now, okay, they're breaking each other's things. And this can become a problem. This can become a problem if people do not have their own separate things and there's no boundaries on, okay, these are my things, this is what I want to be responsible for taking care of, and those are your things, and I'm not going to bother them because I respect you and I respect your property. Having boundaries is a really good idea. Another thing that can cause problems is finances. Okay, the bank looks at me strange whenever I say I would like to have my own separate account, and I would like him to have his own separate account, because, okay, if he and I both have an account and we share it, how can I keep track of every transaction that he made with his debit card when I was not with him? And how can he keep track of every transaction that I made on Amazon when he was not there when I made the purchases? So that becomes a problem, because then you have going into the negative, you have $35 overdraft fees and all these things, because two people are trying to share the same account, but they're not together when they're making the purchases. You have one person that's like super control freak, neat freak, that will keep track of every dime, and then you have the other person who's the opposite, that thinks that, you know, let the chips fall will be okay. So I'm not saying there's anything wrong with either personality, because the two can, you know, sometimes complement each other, but they can also destroy each other if not kept in balance. It's a very good idea for you to have your own checking account, your own finances, you know, to be responsible for yourself. The government expects you to be responsible for yourself. If you owe taxes, you're expected to pay those taxes separately. Those taxes are attached to your Social Security number. And if you don't pay them, they're going to come looking for you, not your husband. So the whole idea of everyone shares everything is not very realistic, and it could very well be one of the top reasons that marriages fail. Thanks, I hope you enjoyed.